have Jody. I
have Oliver down here. Hopefully they'll be quiet this time. But they couldn't.
I don't know. He's trying to talk.
Oliver's growling for attention already.
Yeah, so we're back with our last segment. We did our first segment on decorating a beautiful Christmas tree that Jennifer did. And then we did our second segment just talking about holiday decor, and you gave some really great tips.
Thank you.
I'm excited about to take home myself.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I think, that to take away from that, it doesn't have to be perfect. Really what it should be is what represents your personality and the way you and your family want to live. That's more important than anything. And these are just some tips and some things that can maybe give you a little competitive advantage when you're putting it together to make it easier, but really let your decor reflect your personality.
Yeah, so thank you so much for all the questions that came in. So we just dedicated this segment to answering questions.
Yeah, recently, so hopefully I've got a good answer.
Yeah, so I think you answered the first one. We got a lot of questions. They love the dogs.
Oh, thank you.
And so talk about the dogs' names again.
Oh, okay.
And what type of dog.
Okay. So this is Jax right here. He's 4 years old, and he's a Labradoodle, and he's more poodle than lab. And this is Oliver down here. I don't know if you guys can see Oliver or not, but I'll pick him up. He's Oliver. This is Oliver, and he's a Labradoodle as well.
So cute.
He loves his brother, and he's 3 years old. And Jack to give me things. Where Oliver, we call him the menace at times. He'll see what he can take from you because he was the big one of his litter. But they're fighting over who gets to sit in mom's lap right now. So but they're Labradoodles, and I get asked a lot where I got them. I got them from a breeder in Washington. I think it's called River Mist or Pine Lodge Labradoodles, but they're great. So, and they don't shed. So.
Great. Well, thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's start with our fan question. So Marie said, what do you put in the garland and ribbon?
So I'm assuming you mean like the garland that would be up here. You could weave lights through it, and you could also weave like another garland through it. Like this has got a cranberry type of a garland through it, or you could even weave a ribbon through it. An easy thing to do is to not weave anything through it, and instead just put ornaments just placed hanging from it or just positioned inside the garland.
And do you use ribbon to hang the ornaments, or how do you do that?
You can just position them.
Okay.
Like if they're on top of the mantle, you can position the ornaments in the garland itself, or you could use ornament hangers and like little wire, almost like almost like a what's it called? Like a
I know what you're talking about. Just the regular wire that you hang the ornaments with. That's perfect because it will wrap right around the garland.
Yes, and if you want, you can use ribbon. You can make that part of your decorative element of it too. You can do that for sure.
Okay, so Asa said, how do you balance multicolor ornaments?
So that's a great question. The easiest way is to divide them up before you start putting them on the tree and have them divided into each individual color and pick the one that you have the most of and start with that color and balance it around the tree, just almost like you're doing a zigzag shape. So basically to evenly disperse it on the tree, then take your secondary color that you have the second most and do the same and just evenly disperse it through the tree, and then your third color, and then your fourth color, and that will help you get a balanced look. So you don't put all one color in one area or the other, but just layer it color upon color.
Okay, so Trish said, would you ever change your curtains to complement your tree?
If I had more time, I probably would. If you got the time and the budget to do it, I think that would be amazing. But I really don't think you have to. However, if you really want to go all out, and let's say you had typically white draperies and you're going to go blue on your tree, you could definitely hang blue draperies. It would be absolutely stunning, but it's not something that I've ever personally done.
Okay. So Dawn wanted to know, how do you keep your lights from tangling?
I wish I could say I was perfect at that all times. I would say my lights tangle probably just as much as your lights tangle. For the sake of tonight's segment, I opened up a brand new box, so they'd be a lot less tangling. But in all seriousness, the way that I do is I typically, when I'm wrapping them, I wrap them around my hand, and I try to circle and go in a loop.
Okay.
And then tie a strand around, almost like you would a rope, around the other way to hold that loop together when I put them away. So then when I take them out of the box and try to put them on the tree, I unloop that twist, and then take the other piece of it is have the piece that you're actually going to plug in as your starting point. So have that be the last piece that you wrap up in there.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, because then you can start with that pushed into the trunk of the tree, and then cascade your lights out from that point. And I wish I had a visual to show you. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, I never can get them back in the box. So I usually just get a big gallon Ziploc bag and then just use that instead of the box.
That's a great idea. So you do one for each individual?
Yes.
Great idea. I would do that. Do what Jody says.
Okay, so next question is from Caroline, and she wanted to know if Costco has tissue paper.
I think they do. I'll defer to you, but I'm pretty certain because I know I've bought tissue paper there in the past.
So yes, Caroline, we do have tissue paper, and we also have beautiful wrapping paper. So you want to get it while it's there.
That is one tip that it sells out so quickly. It's amazing to me. And the thing that I've noticed with your wrapping paper, it's the really high-end, thick wrapping paper that has the lines on the underside, so it makes it really easy to wrap the presents. That's just something that I've noticed.
Right, and helps you cut in a straight line.
Yeah, it does, for sure.
Okay, so Lorraine wanted to know, what do you do if all your ornaments are the same size?
So that's a good question. If you have to go without one size, that's okay. If you have the ability to get another size, even if it's the same color, just to vary the size or vary the shape, it will undoubtedly add more interest. I would say if they're all the same size, less is more, and the way that I would add the interest is by bringing some deep inside the branches, because the branches will obscure the size a little bit and the shape, and it's going to make them look a little bit smaller. So you have some that are tucked inside the branch and some that are out closer to the end of the branch, and that will give the illusion of a different size and shape.
Yeah, I loved how you talked about how you would put some of them in the front of the tree and then the back of the tree.
It makes a big difference. It's almost like you can use fewer ornaments and your tree just looks more lush and more depth to it. And if you have a super precious ornament too, if you tuck it back a little bit further, there's less chance of it getting broken too.
So Liz wanted to find out, what is the best recommendation to make a faux tree look fabulous?
I've been using a faux tree for the past several years, and I think it's actually easier to make a faux tree look better than it is a real tree, because your branches are they're designed to be perfect. So with a real tree, you've got nature, and which is a beautiful thing, but you typically have some branches that don't look as good, some that need to come out, or some empty spaces. So the same rules apply to a faux tree as to a live tree from a decoration standpoint. Start with your lights, weave them in and out on the branches, so go all the way toward the trunk and back out. And vary the types of light you use. So you could do a clear white sparkly one with a white frosted one that maybe is a little bit bigger in size, and then from there, if you're going to do a garland, add your garland, and after that, then your ornaments, and you start with your biggest size, most simple shape ornaments first, and then layer in your most precious ones. And then you can also fill in the empty spots in the tree with tucking in ribbon or tucking in pieces of garland, as opposed to having a full garland effect. And then your tree topper.
And we actually never talked about the tree topper either.
That is nothing precious to me at all, but I just love the texture. I love the color of that bird. Okay. So that's what it's there for. And I think your tree topper can just really show off your personality.
Okay, so Trish said you normally have chairs facing away from the flames.
I do, actually, all the time. This is exactly where these chairs face. And the reason is, right behind the camera, right behind where the view you are, is my sofa. And so I like to have chairs that face back into the grouping, because it makes it for easy conversation. And if the chairs were facing the fireplace, it would just avoid the rest of the room. So I always have them like this. Another way that you could have chairs by the fireplace and still address some of the room is to face each other with a table, but it still is a little bit alienating. So I love this look, and if I don't have, whenever I've had a house where I don't have chairs in front of the fireplace, I've always done seating cubes or ottomans, so that I can circle people around the room, and it just adds to better conversation.
Yeah, I love sitting by the fireplace. It's nice and warm and cozy.
I love having coffee here in the morning with my laptop. It's so comfortable.
So Joanne wanted to know, are the cranberries fresh? And she was probably talking about in our last segment when you were showing how to do the cranberries.
In the centerpiece.
glasses.
Oh,
yes.
in the glass. So in the glasses, they
well,
were
maybe
fresh.
both. Better cover both just in case.
Okay, in the champagne glasses, by the way, we've got water for now. Hopefully you guys are having champagne or wine at home. Those are fresh. And then in the centerpiece, in the coffee table, those are fresh as well. So you just would be mindful of rotting. Keep them in there for a few days. You can get some faux ones. There are actually some really good faux cranberries on the marketplace that you could keep in for the entire season. If they're fresh, you'll have to change them out a few times.
So Stefan said, are there any rules as far as when to decorate or how long to leave things up afterwards?
So I touched upon this a little bit earlier, but I'll just to do a quick recap. There's no rule. It really depends on what you personally want. But I will talk about being kind to your neighbors. And so for putting your exterior lights on and things, it's fine to do that right before the Thanksgiving holiday. But you do want to take down your exterior lights because it does affect your neighbors, or at least unplug them. My preference is January 1st. Just be done with it and start with the new year, new you. I feel the same about the interior decorations. I feel like once the holiday's over, it's over, and it's a precious moment in time that you don't need to just carry through January, and it can start looking cluttery, or like you didn't take the time to take them down. So I would say the perfect time is to put your tree up right before Thanksgiving if you want it there, or Thanksgiving weekend, and then take everything down on January 1st. Be done with it.
So I love Christina's question to you. She said, do you have a go-to holiday decor gift that you love to give?
So that's an easy one for me. So for me, I always gift our robes and our sheets, but I know you don't all have access to those all the time. Our robes are at the Costco road shows and online, and the sheets are on Costco.com. But my secondary gift that I give at times, if somebody has a dog, I'll give like dog treats because that's always fun.
Yes.
And you don't have to worry about matching their decor. I'll tell you the things that I don't give are overly fragranced items. So if you're giving a candle, give a very lightly fragranced one because you don't know what that your friend, unless you know their favorite fragrance. It could just be a wasted candle that gets re-gifted, so just lightly fragranced.
Okay.
I love bringing flowers to somebody, but so many people have allergies. So if you are unsure, then do a plant, so it's not just causing an allergy reaction right when they come into the house. So something that's low fragrance, low allergy. I'd be careful with major home decor accent pieces because that's a lot of pressure for the recipient to have to display them in their house when it's something you love. You don't necessarily know that they'll love it. So some easy go-to things are like the disposable hand towels for powder bathrooms. I think those are great because I never have enough and no one else really ever has enough. Or like a little serving dish that someone can use in their kitchen for like nuts. That's something simple. Little crystals are really popular right now, like crystals or geodes and things like that. Those are things that I enjoy giving, and there's something that someone could tuck away and hide and not have to display if they don't want to display them.
Got it. What about for if you're going to a holiday party?
Yeah, a bottle of wine is really nice, and it doesn't have to be expensive, and it's easy. So so you could, it's something that I love to do with wine. Is you can get ribbon with your name printed on it, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. You can get, people have given me these as gifts, and so you can get a spool of ribbon with your name on it, and so you just have it year round, and then you just tie it around the neck of the bottle of wine, and that way your bottle of wine doesn't get lost in the sea of all the other holiday gifts, because typically at the end of the night when you have a holiday party, you never know who gave you what wine.
Oh,
and
that's
so
a great idea.
There's a little ribbon on it, or even sign your name on it is good. But the other thing that is fun, if you have the time to think about it, is ordering monogrammed ribbon for somebody, because it's a fun gift, and I think it's like around $20 to $25, so it's not like an exorbitantly priced gift, and it's a really fun way to personalize something.
Yes, I love that idea.
Every time I've been given that, I absolutely love it, and I use it every single time.
Okay, so Trish said, are the pillows available in all Costco stores or just online?
At the moment, just online, but hopefully we'll have some. I'll leave it at that. At the moment, but you never know.
Okay. So Marina said, where can we place our stockings if we don't have a fireplace or a mantle?
That's a good question, because I bet you, I pretty much, a lot of homes don't have a fireplace or a mantle, and you still want to have stockings. That's interesting. Let me think, because that's not top of my mind right now. There's no reason you couldn't hang them on the wall. Just like there were a piece of artwork and get one of the temporary wall hangers. I think the 3M brand, I think that's the brand that does tapes. I think they have, like, for when you're in a rented place and you don't want to damage the wall, there are little hooks that are removable hooks that you could put on the wall. And then almost like we varied the heights here, varied the height of the stockings. That's just off the top what I think would be good to do. If you had like a big mirror in the entry, you could get little suction hangers. Because there are those little suction cups that have hooks on them, and you could hang it to a mirror, even to a window, for that matter.
So Leslie said, is one painted wall a fun idea?
It depends on your personality and what you want in your home. There was, for years and years and years, accent walls were like the hottest thing going, and you can definitely still do it. If you do want to do an accent wall, make sure it relates to something else going on in the room, and that you're balancing it out somehow. So whether you've got one accent, let's say this wall was navy blue, I want to make sure that there's some navy blue identified, maybe on the coffee table or on pillows, or somewhere else in that room, so that it makes sense, and just tie it in. If you tie it in other ways, then it could be absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so we also got some great comments. I love to call out our fans' comments. So Lisa said, thank you, Lisa. 2 of my favorite things, Costco's and Doodles.
Oh,
so I think she loves Jack and Oliver.
I wish you could see them right now. They're sacked out on the floor right at my feet with their heads together. It's so cute.
Yeah, and Crystal said that she loves the live trees from Costco. She said they're wonderful. She said they used them a couple years ago, and they smell amazing. So, Crystal, I'm excited to say, because I'm going to get a tree this weekend at Costco.
So you're still having them in stock?
Yes. So, yes, and we have a variety of warehouses, not all the warehouses. But yeah, we have them this weekend coming up, so I'm excited to go get my tree.
That is outstanding. And just, my tree I purchased that at Costco.com years ago, and it's still in spectacular shape. So you could do live or faux.
Okay, so Christina, and I loved her comment. You're going to absolutely love this. And I have friends like this, Christina. They said, I used to suffer from POPD.
What's that?
Perfect ornament placement disorder.
That is so funny. So you probably loved our segment on Christmas tree decorating earlier.
But she said, and now I just let my kids go to town on the tree, and it turns out great. So
I love that, because that's the most important thing, is a tree that reflects your personality, your family style, and that everyone's just having fun. Like, truly, to me, that makes it the most precious and the most special. So good for you.
Yes, and we got tons of Facebook fan questions, and Lori said, these are amazing tips, thank you. So we really appreciate you, Jennifer, for sharing all these great tips with us.
Thank you. It's so much fun for me to have you in my home. I feel very honored, and I look forward to nights and mornings when we do this, and thank you. I appreciate it.
Great. So let's just talk about first, before we pick our winners.
That's what
yeah, we're going to pick our winners, our last 4 winners, but let's talk about some of the products that you have on Costco.com.
All right. We have, and actually they're close by. I've got, on Costco.com, we have our Eternal sheet set. It's our #1 best-selling bedding that we have. We've sold way over 1 million of these sheet sets at this point, because they're wrinkle resistant and they're easy care, and they're like seriously crazy soft. So we've got sheet sets, and we have, in the same fabric, we have duvet covers. And then in the same fabric, we also have quilted shams in different colors, and blankets that also double as coverlets. And we have these in quilted pattern and a variety of colors. We've got, on Costco.com, I think we have white, ivory, taupe, and a charcoal color, as well as, I think we have indigo right now as well.
Yes,
too.
great.
So thank you for asking.
Yes, and we're gonna after the live is finished, we're gonna be putting a Facebook post on there, so you can click directly to see Jennifer's collection on Costco.com.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that, and thank you. And also I appreciate each and every one of you that not only tune in and watch our Facebook Live, but all of the hundreds of thousands of homes that we're in now because of Costco, and I appreciate you as well as you. Thank you.
Okay, so time for our last 4 winners.
Okay, yay.
So I'm going to hand over the the iPad, and we have them
Great.
right in there in red, so you can read those
Oh,
off.
wonderful. Okay, so the first recipient is going to get a blanket or coverlet in your size and color of choice, and that's going to Laura Mulroy. Congratulations. And let's see, the Eternal sheets that we have two of these this time. So the next winner is going to get an Eternal sheet. That actually the next two winners are going to get a set of Eternal sheets in the size and color that you choose, and that goes to Joe Branda and Julia Street. Congratulations. So now for our grand winner, are the mattress, which this mattress is, there's no mattress in here right now. You can see how lightweight this box is, and that's because it's empty on purpose because I wouldn't be able to lug it over here. But you'll be getting a mattress. It's the same mattress that I sleep on every single night. It's incredibly comfortable, and we took years to design it and make it perfect. So I'm so excited to have it in your home. Your home is Peggy Ray. Congratulations. You get to have one of our Eternal mattresses in the size that you choose.
Wonderful.
So congratulations.
Well, thanks so much for donating all those prizes.
You're welcome.
And we did have questions throughout all our Facebook Lives. People wanted to know, how can I enter? And so what we normally do when we do a live with Jennifer is we do a Facebook post prior to the live and get all of your great questions so we can ask Jennifer during the lives. And anybody that enters, and we have a specific time on there up to when we're having the sweepstakes contest. And then we choose randomly from all the people that made comments on our Facebook post.
Great.
So stay tuned for next time so you can maybe be one of the lucky winners of these great, fabulous items.
Definitely do. Keep the questions coming because I love them. And then it also helps us shape our next Facebook Lives because I prefer to answer make style for the questions that you have and exemplify what you want to talk about. So keep them coming even tomorrow too.
Great. And so we're going to be live tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to be with Christy Clover. She's a mom and blogger, and she has a book coming out as well.
Really?
Yes, and she's going to be talking about organizing for the holidays and getting some tips and hacks for us. So look forward to seeing you back then, and thank you again, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Have a good night. Cheers.